I had put her on a pedestal, but she's no longer there. The gloss I put around her implied that she was rare. I'd spoken so well of her, extolled her every grace, but the darkness of her inner soul belied her pretty face. I thought that I knew her, felt her heart akin to mine, but really all I felt was spin. She kept there all the time. She wore a false image that seemed so real to me. It completely fooled me. It was all that I could see. The power to bewitch, yet her story overpitched. A reality she switched until it formed a glitch. Eventually unhitched. In time I saved the stitch, avoided her last pitch. She's just a fucking bitch. I don't know who she really was. Is there anyone that does? She lied to all and cheated, created such a buzz. Everyone believed her. They thought that she was real, real idiots they turned out to be. That's how she made them feel. The power to bewitch, yet her story overpitched. A reality she switched until it formed a glitch. Eventually unhitched. In time I saved the stitch, avoided her last pitch. She's just a fucking bitch. One day life will catch her, pedestals will fall. Folks will see the real her, no truth in her at all. What then will she do with all her bridges burned? Do I look like I care? Let others be concerned. The power to bewitch, yet her story overpitched. A reality she switched until it formed a glitch. Eventually unhitched. In time I saved the stitch, avoided her last pitch. She's just a fucking bitch.
I wrote some words they didn't like. They refused to give me voice. I went to different platforms, exercised my choice. I changed the wording slightly to see what I could do, to see if somehow these would work. They denied these rewrites too. I went back to my starting point, gathered up my thoughts, rewrote them entirely, avoid what had been caught. Though approved, I was saddened at the edits forced on me. Angry, disappointed, I thought my speech was free. When they wrote the first, they sought to give us voice, the freedom to express ourselves regardless of our choice. When they wrote the first, they never had foreseen, those controlling everything, those behind the scenes. The reality, though, is simple, not difficult to see. The freedom that they tell you isn't really free. It only works in words you write and things you want to say. If you write within their framework, if in their game you play. When they wrote the first, they sought to give us voice, the freedom to express ourselves, regardless of our choice. When they wrote the first, they never had foreseen, those controlling everything, those behind the scenes. I've published words like cunt or fuck, so it's not profanity. It's all about the thoughts expressed, things they don't want to see. I've criticized their president, censorship applied. That is where the problems lay, in what I wrote tonight. When they wrote the first, they sought to give us voice, the freedom to express ourselves, regardless of our choice. When they wrote the first, they never had foreseen, those controlling everything, those behind the scenes. Censorship of words we use is very obvious, but censorship of thoughts we have is far more serious. To have us think a certain way, it clearly is their goal. They're not trying to rob us of our voice, they're trying to steal our souls. There's a little old flea market on the north side of town. Every week she goes there, just wanders around. Many folk there just know her by face or by name. She stops and talks, but doesn't buy. Each week it is the same. But they don't mind her chatter, they can see it in her eyes. They can tell that she's just lonely, they see through her white lies. She was all alone, took life's journey on her own. All alone, any friends had long since gone. Unloved if truth be known. All alone, her future carved in stone. She was just an elder lady and struggled on her feet. Oftentimes they brought her in and offered her a seat. Mostly they felt sorry that she was all alone. They wished, as in her stories, love was waiting there at home. She was all alone, took life's journey on her own. All alone, any friends had long since gone. and her kids, of course, now grown, of how they're waiting for her whenever she gets home. But they know that she is fibbing, just trying to cover up for the loneliness that brings her to see the same old stuff. She was all alone, took life's journey on her own, all alone. Any friends had long since gone. All alone, unloved if truth be known. All alone, her future carved in stone.
Everyone's offended, nothing gets released, yet find it on the internet where you can feed the beast. Older shows are recalled for the roles that they portray, although we laughed and understood the joking of the day. Jokes were based on color, others based on race. Vaudeville shows on TV, wearers of blackface, no longer deemed appropriate. We are right to draw that line, but must accept the way things were when looking back in time. History the time to play upon the characters that now cross a line. But bear in mind the mindset of the people watching then. Right or wrong in judging now is judging boys as men. History rewritten, treating all as kids, handled now with mittens, too raunchy to be smitten. The biter has been bitten as history's rewritten. We can sit and judge the comedy in cop shows that enthrall, but look at the advertising that paid for it all. Cigarettes and liquor, mainstays every show, creating tons of users. Crazy now we know. History rewritten, treating all as kittens, handled now with mittens, too raunchy to be smitten. The biter has been bitten as history's rewritten. But throwing out the baby in emptying the bath rewrites the times we grew through and things that made us laugh.
I never had much time for her. She was always on the make, had her hands in parents' pockets to see what she could take. It didn't really matter who she heard along the way. Her mother of her father, they had seen her go astray. She waited for her father's death before she made a move, put pressure on her mother. She had a point to prove. When she was old and feeble, her mother signed the forms, giving her the money she craved beyond the norm. She was just a low life, could have been much better. Chose a path of least resistance, became so fucking bitter. She was a low life, lost in her gin each day, sold out her aging mother, 30 pieces was her pay. Two younger brothers helped her fabricate her lies. For whatever reason, they gave her alibis. They fashioned their own axes with the evil that they made. They shit upon their mother and spat upon her grave. She was just a low life, could have been much better. Chose a path of least resistance, became so fucking bitter. She was a low life, lost in her gin each day, sold out her aging mother, 30 pieces was her pay. Up it could go. So why did she do it in her mother's hour of need? Abuse her vulnerability to satisfy her greed. She was just a low life, could have been much better. Chose a path of least resistance, became so fucking bitter. She was a low life, lost in her gin each day, sold out her aging mother, 30 pieces was her pay. I had a strange dream last night. Was standing in the green, playing a game with other boys. No football to be seen. We were standing by the old light pole, counting out in rhyme. Nearby an empty can of peas, and us all in a line. When I woke up clear as day, remembered what I'd seen, days that really happened, and I smiled at what I dreamed. It was a game of kick the can, how innocent those days. 13 boys from 5 to 6, short pants and endless plays. My mother and your mother were hanging out the clothes. Did she mean it, or did she not? What color blood came pouring out? The details of the game itself came back into my mind. I hadn't thought for 60 years, but time it had been kind. I remembered all the rules and twists, and how we played each game. So many now are long since gone, but close friends all the same. My mother and your mother were hanging out the clothes. My mother gave your mother a dig in the nose. Did she mean it, or did she not? What color blood came pouring out? Those days were very simple. I'm sure that we were too. Sophistication was a future world long past might lead to. We were all locked in our moment, an innocence sublime. No longer does this game exist, a casualty of time. My mother and your mother were hanging out the clothes. My mother gave your mother a dig in the nose. Did she mean it, or did she not? What color blood came pouring out?
Mannie was a raw man. The whole city knew. He didn't really hide it, and rarely needed to. The guard he long suspected questioned him for days. They tried their best to break him, but failed. He walked away. The IRA had long been there in that part of town. He joined them as a young man and never let them down. He became their punisher. It was a thankless role. When traitors came before him, he'd put them in a hole. Mannie was a good friend, always was to me. While others questioned right or wrong, I shared his strong belief. He sought a single Ireland, his path left little doubt. Full dedication to the cause, to drive the British out. When he was an old man, they put him in a home, immersed in his memories. He'd sit there all alone. I visited him when in Ireland and called there now and then, but he'd been dead a week or so before I called again. Mannie was a good friend, always was to me. shout. Mannie never did me wrong. When needed, he was there. I try to find in memory the times I showed I care. Mannie was old IRA, his love for Irish rule. He took his secrets with him, except for those that knew. Mannie was a good friend, always was to me. While others questioned right or wrong, I shared his strong belief. He sought a single Ireland, his path left little doubt. Full dedication to the cause, to drive the British out. My grandfather's clock was too tall for the shelf, so it stood 90 years on the floor. It was taller by half than the old man himself, though it weighed not a pennyweight more. It was bought on the morn of the day that he was born, and was always his treasure and pride. But it stopped short, never to go again, when the old man died. 27 6-year-olds formed in two lines, standing on the stage under the lights. Parents proudly watching, wearing Sunday best. I felt like junior royalty, as I'm sure did the rest. We sang our little hearts out, in our heads we were stars. I'm not sure how we sounded, or how well we sang the bars. The smiles upon our parents, the joy in their eyes, holding fast to every word sung by their little boys. 90 years without slumbering, his life seconds numbering. It stopped short, never to go again, when the old man died. Mannie was the teacher in the orchestra pit, directing and smiling with each bad note we hit. He pointed right at me, I was ready for my line. I belted out the tick-tocks, my parents' smiles did shine. 90 years without slumbering, tick-tock-tock, his life seconds numbering. Tick-tock-tock-tock, it stopped short, never to go again, when the old man died. When the song was over, we all took a bow. Little boys in short pants, living in the now. This was our moment, the pride that we had, basking in the applause from every mom and dad. 90 years without slumbering, his life
seconds numbering. It stopped short, never to go again when the old man died.
No refund, no exchanges. The sign simply states there are no exceptions. So we ponder and we wait. It applies some due diligence to the process that we use to determine if we want it. Takes away our excuse. Will it fit? Will it last? Things that should be known before we walk out with it, not later to be moaned. In line at the service desk, watching their returns. No one even questions why. No one has concern. No time for indecision when we stare one in the face. No time for indecision, examine case by case. We have a mind, so use it, avoiding each revision, own each choice that we make. No time for indecision. There used to be a marriage from which there was no divorce. Even if you hated him, the law applied the force. But nothing needs to be permanent. No decision that we make should tie our hands completely till death's final break. No time for indecision when we stare one in the face. No time for indecision, examine case by case. We have a mind, so use it, avoiding each revision, own each choice that we make. No time for indecision. The pain from that decisions truly help us learn. But mistakes shouldn't be the cause of bridges that we burn. Our children need to understand what each decision changes. Experience a life that's real. No refunds, no exchanges. No time for indecision when we stare one in the face. No time for indecision, examine case by case. We have a mind, so use it, avoiding each revision, own each choice that we make. No time for indecision.
If you're rich and powerful, you can get away with crime. Even when it's obvious you won't do any time. But if you're poor or homeless or not so fair of skin, march and step like you've been told, or we will do you in. It doesn't really matter what rich folk do or say. The idiots that cheer them on will let them have their way. But if you don't know people that can shape the rules for you, they'll string you up for anything, whether false or true. The 1% own this land. Laws don't apply to them, but they apply to you and me, so easily condemned. When faced with prosecution, defense in vain present, the laws exempt just a few, the powerful 1%. Don't be a rapper driving down the street, and if they pull you over, keep both hands on the wheel. If you are from elsewhere, your skin a shade of brown, hands off our cats and dogs. We don't want you in our town. The 1% own this land. Laws don't apply to them, but they apply to you and me, so easily condemned. When faced with prosecution, defense in vain present, the laws exempt just a few, the powerful 1%. If you're in our neighborhood and you're not one of us, we'll stand our ground and hurt you just for making too much fuss. We can brutalize and beat you, but remember this, alright. There's good people on both sides, Mr. and Mrs. White. The 1% own this land. Laws don't apply to them, but they apply to you and me, so easily condemned. When faced with prosecution, defense in vain present, the laws exempt just a few, the powerful 1%.
These past few years I've struggled, don't often get a break. Still put 1 foot forwards, don't know what I can take. At what stage do I stop? Put hands up in the air, ask myself the question, do I really even care? I'm feeling punch drunk all the time from sustained body blows. There hasn't been a knockout yet, could be today, who knows? But it doesn't really need to be for me to take the drop. I wish they could stop this world and let this old man off. I'm running out of options, I don't know what to do. I'm running out of schedule, my time is almost through. I'm running out of interest, not much left to say.
reasons. Let's just call it a day. Long gone are the younger days when life seemed full of hope. Things won't change for the better, so I'm stuck on this old rope. Some of those around me urge me to hang on. They say that times will surely change, but I know that they're wrong. I'm running out of options. I don't know what to do. I'm running out of schedule. My time is almost through. I'm running out of interest. Not much left to say. Running out of reasons. Let's just call it a day. I just don't have it in me to pull the plug myself. But it isn't hope that keeps me here, that keeps me on life's shelf. It's simply fear of things undone and letting others down. Who will watch over the babies? That's what keeps me hanging round. I'm running out of options. I don't know what to do. I'm running out of schedule. My time is almost through. I'm running out of interest. Not much left to say. Running out of reasons. Let's just call it a day.
When all is said and done, and the ending's now on cue, we've played our game, run our race, but now must bid adieu. We've listened to the piper. The time has come to pay. Others had a shorter run, so how can we complain? It's always hard to say goodbye to people that you love. Leaving things unfinished can be a little rough, but we don't get to call the shots on when the sand runs out. This game's defined by others, of that I have no doubt. Times of our passing, our birth and our death, we have no say in either, our first or final breath. Times of our living, begin it with a cry. Try to live our journey, then finally we die. However we see our life here, or pray for one to come, reality's upon us, and this race is run. Accepting death is part of life, perhaps not what we want. To fight and resist it is refusal of detente. Times of our passing, our birth and our death, we have no say in either, our first or final breath. Times of our living, begin it with a cry. Try to live our journey, then finally we die.
sorrow, the pain we leave behind. They'll struggle with our loss a while, but peace, our hope they'll find. Hopefully they'll live their lives in a way that gives them fun. Isn't that what it's all about when all is said and done? Times of our passing, our birth and our death, we have no say in either, our first or final breath.